What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today's post is titled Attraction and Manifestation, and as it's a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'll be referring to Matias as me and to his higher self as I am. Me. Today I read a comment that said, "The information I share in these conversations is functional to the system that enslaves us." What do you think? I am. Why should I have an opinion? Me, because I consider it important to clarify many of the concepts or ways in which we communicate, since sometimes it can lead to think that one is defending the system so that it remains as it is. I am. I can't comment on things. That's your task. Me, because I am. The I am is. It cannot be positioned in any vision. The self is the only one who can do such a thing. Me. So from the I am, there cannot be a position regarding anything specific. I am. The I am is the center. It is the only possible position. It is the descriptive one, the one that looks at all the points. The I is the one that travels through the different positions, the one that can take sides in something. I can only help you understand it from a neutral point of view and try to be as objective as possible. Me. The further we advance, I think there will be increasingly politicized issues on which I will take a specific position. I am, and I will be here to remind you that it's just one more. Me, and if so, then, for example, when people ask me to position myself in front of something, what should I do? I am. First, you must think if that position is your position. Humans polarize everything, perhaps by having two eyes, two ears, two hands. Not everything is two positions. Me. Sometimes it seems that if you're not on one side, it's because you're on the other. When I talk about systems and their need, they believe that I am in favor of current systems. If I speak like yesterday about the feminine and masculine, the idea can immediately come out that if I do not position myself as a feminist, then I am a macho. It's exhausting to be politically correct. I am. You are a pendulum, focused on opposites. You are not seeing the mandala that you have created. Me, being politically correct. Is that correct? I am. If you want to get out of the center, yes. Being politically correct is a very obvious quality of the Libra energy. Trying to avoid being offended means stopping being a bit yourself. To think like others and be accepted. Politics is the art of communicating what the city asks for. For the Greek polis, city, echoes, which means related to, politics, then, is the art of philosophical discourse that most of the people like. What groups together, what generates ideologies that fight each other in parliament or on the street. Political speeches are the embodiment of a collective will. However, that a collectivity manifests a will does not mean that it arises from the essence, from the axis. It is often said that the people are right. Now, imagine that you are a father. Your son, people, at the age of 6, he throws a tantrum because he wants sweets, only sweets, no healthy food. You, being daddy, you say no. So son, Pueblo, makes an assembly in which they gather other children between 5 and 8 years old to ask for sweets, democratically. Then bipartisanship appears. Mother government and father state. Sometimes one or sometimes the other. They will give in, giving the children candy. Father state and mother government begin to win the love of their children, the more sweets they manage to give them. Thus, democracy ends up being a paternalistic system in which the people are the child who complains and asks for sweets, and the parents forbid or give according to the day. The children of the peoples will love one or the other more depending on the prize received. Whoever gives the people the greatest incentive will receive the most love. Then the village children realize they need nothing but complain. Me, horrible. I am. It's called the social system. You have created it for lack of love. Me, So what you're saying is that the system we have today of struggle, of rewards, of strikes, of voting, all of that is the same as a conflict between mother, father, and children. I am. Objectivity hurts. The people are based on the law of attraction, denying the law of manifestation. Me, how would that be? I am. Both laws have two faces, one conscious, directed by mental logic, and the other unconscious, directed by emotional logic. Both are useful, since while the second mobilizes, the first orders what has been moved. One without the other does not work. They are a whole. However, you cannot use them separately, or it will bring problems. Let's start with the law of attraction. Humans usually apply this universal law from unconscious, that is, by an emotional impulse that is summarized in the word I want, arising from a concept of need, the lack of something, the shortage, the conflict, the rapture, the crisis. All these concepts generate a need to complete the empty space, sometimes from a real need and others from an invented and imaginary need. It is understood then that attraction is the ability to set a desire for something, making its appearance possible. I want a car, and if you ask forcefully, the universe will conspire for you to have a car. From the unconscious, to think that this is so leads to indebtedness, to the emptying of energy, because instead of generating, I attract. It's like asking for a loan from the bank that you must pay back by paying interest. I asked for 100 to buy a shirt. I'm happy to put on a shirt because I consider it mine. But In the long run, I will have to return 110 to the bank, and if I am late in payment, it will go up to 111, 112, and so on. In this way, as a bank, it is how the pulse of the universe works, with interest. The very word say it. Everything in the universe demands that we put energy, that we exchange. Therefore, whoever applies the law of attraction from unconsciousness, me, how would this look in society? I am the village child asks his parents for sweets. His parents tell him, sure, but for every sweet, you should eat a broccoli. The more sweets you order, the more broccoli you should eat. The more chocolates you look to get the flavor out of your broccoli, the more of it you'll find on your plate. This is what social struggles do in a paternalistic system. Both the mother and the father decide on the child, as the child is irresponsible, and then the parents, also irresponsible, use their ancient methods of reward and punishment in archaic actions. The child blames the parents for making them live this, and the parents do what they believe is best for their children, even if they're doing everything wrong. When a social struggle arises, the conflict is usually projected onto the parents, as everyone does in their lives. The problem is mom, this comes from my dad, and thus the ideas of traumas are created, of seeking to heal the bonds with the parents, since they have projected all the evils in them. The same with the state and the government. Me. So, what's the way out? I am the law of attraction applied from consciousness. The attraction works by magnetism, attracting. As the word says, is the ability to pull, that is, to be pulled by the outside of something. Attraction would be then to be pushed towards me. To obtain this expected result, I must first become what is expected. That is, by the law of resonance. The real attraction does not work without the law of resonance. How would it be? Well, the flower must generate attractive colors to attract bees, and thus be able to pollinate itself. The flower does not want and wait. It acts. It enters the resonance capable of shining in such a way that it can be seen by the bee. Socially, this means becoming what is expected without pretending that it is mom and dad who gives it. The conflict of the law of attraction is that we project in life the same thing that we obtained in the first years of living it. Dad and mom will become the government, the bosses, in everything that gives us reward and punishment. So when they tell you that you are functional to the system, they're not seeing a fundamental part, that no matter what you do in your life, you will always be functional to a system that will expire in another generation. Me, constant transformation. I am, that's right. The great human error is living in a Disney movie where there is the utopia of the happy ending, and there were happily ever after. The system you fight today is made up of the people who fought against the previous one, and that other system, it had the people who had fought the predecessors, and so on. Therefore, one day, others will arrive in the future who will fight against you. And you will say, why? If what I have done was for everyone, and perhaps you recognize at that moment that the key to evolution is flexibility and transmutation, the ability to adapt. That is why you cannot be politically correct if what you're looking for is Josoy, because policies change according to the context. When you understand this, you can launch yourself to collaborate in the transformations, but not fighting against the obsolete, but building the future. Fighting a ruined building does not make you a savior, it makes you useless. You must observe the ruin of said building and understand that it was once useful, that it was once the home of people who had no other way of living. So, seeing it like this, you take the remains and start building. Me. But those who still live in the building are fighting to defend what remains of it. What do you do with those people? Those are the people that many fight against, the old men who continue to defend the ruins. I am. Would you go to an asylum to throw stones at old curmudgeons? Me, I guess not, but they have power over the majority. I am. Oh no, never believe that. Power is not real, it's a concept, and you can build it. That is called the law of manifestation. Me, what would it be? I am. Manifest, as we have already said, comes from the Latin words manos, hands, and fester, to celebrate. That is to say, a party of hands. While the attraction considers that the power is outside, in the other, and I must recover it, bring it to me. The manifestation, on the other hand, expresses its ability to create power from its center without the need to seek it outside. Me. This is the duality you told me today at the pyramid: attraction versus manifestation. I am. Attraction is a horizontal movement of energy, of exchange, of giving and receiving. The manifestation is a vertical movement of energy, in which the idea and matter come together to create something from scratch without the need to look outside, but in the inner capacity and the axis of each one. They are seen as opposites, but in reality, they both form a cross that unites in the heart, that strikes the balance of all things. Humans are more used to attraction due to giving and receiving from mom and dad, from religion and state, from culture and family. They are conditioned on the notion that there is a penalty and a reward for all things, a gain and a loss, a good and a debt. It is normal, because for thousands of years it has been like that. But from the I am, the manifestation arises, typical of magicians, alchemists, sages, and messiahs. Me. So the cross, attraction, manifestation, tells us about the way we are creators of realities. The attraction is almost a cycle of constant profit and loss, exchange with the environment, an economic and capitalist vision, while the manifestation is the ability to generate by oneself everything I need. I am. Both are useful because in order to manifest, I need energy to circulate. So the attraction is functional to the manifestation system, but the manifestation system is based on responsibility. When the attraction system is based on dependency, claiming parents, state, and government for your needs or for recognition is the oldest and simplest psychology to analyze. To get out of their system, you must start to manifest and stop claiming. You will be focusing on the old. To perform a miracle is to express the impossible by showing others that it is possible. That is called emancipation. Me. So what would the role of the state be in a protesting system? I am. Maintain the unity and interconnection of the parties. Me. Taking the paternalistic idea out of it. I am. But a 6-year-old cannot be emancipated. That's why he still needs parents. The question is whether that child will be able to build his own state freely and unconditionally when he grows up. Or maybe he imitates his parents, right? Me, how do you do not to imitate them? I am. Learning to be yourself. I am. Awakening the inner power of the being that makes you a manifester. Stop using the law of attraction to fight between giving and receiving, between what I have and what I lack, and start manifesting it for yourself and in a network with others. There comes a time in the life of every person when they realize the limitations of their parents and must transcend them. And doing this does not mean killing the parents, but understanding that they gave what they could of themselves. Me, it's another topic that gives a lot of conversation. I am, and I'll be here to talk. But before understanding many of these things, you must remember that if you hope to build a new life, a new system, you cannot do it from the mechanisms and methodologies that you just reject. You should not fight or destroy or blame. You should build, honor, and transcend. Weaving networks has expanded more living things in nature than limiting them. Me. So the attraction and the manifestation cannot go separately. We cannot base a civilization based on paternalistic giving and receiving, but rather deliver the capacity that each individual is capable of manifesting their own reality. And this is achieved using the law of attraction from consciousness, resounding, turning myself into that which I seek and expect from the world, manifesting it in every part of my being. I am. Hard task, but it is the only way to get out of the typical phrases. Mom, Dad, what are you going to eat? I can't find my backpack. I can leave. I want to buy a game. When you understand the basis of any system from neutrality, then you can start to build a new one. Don't give a speech without first knowing how to read or write. Me, I understand. Manifesting a new reality implies first understanding reality. I am. So think about what you attract into your life and use this energy to manifest your new life.